First, I'd like to thank anybody who is listening to the read of holodynamics. This is a concept that has been curing every disease known to man for over 25 years. And it runs on the concept of cure the causes and you cure the diseases. No pills. All diseases, all mental illness, everything is a conditioning of our experiences. And if we change our experiences, there is no such thing as disease. It's all an illusion. And most of the things that we are dying from our corporate world, how we earn our living, and the products that we consume. And it's like we're at war now. We have this global collapse about to happen. We're all angry. And we're missing the bigger picture of what is really going on. Now, I was given a link, which I'll post below. It's kind of interesting. It has a conversation with one of these elites that, we think are controlling the planet. And this guy talks in a manner that you really have to be at a specific level to read between the lines of what he's trying to say. And he's saying that he is playing the role that he's supposed to play. The book I'm reading on holodynamics, which there's several books, this one is The Dance of Life. The last few tapes, I'm showing a few stories of terrorists that have learned of their full potential. They've learned why they're here on this planet, which really was like you could do some wild prophesizing as soon as you see this stuff. As soon as you see yourself, you're all of a sudden a prophet. Like you'll start understanding, oh, I get it. This is the picture. And in short, try and put some pieces to the puzzle. Do you want world peace? Do you want a world that is peaceful? Now think about it. If you really, really say yes to that, if that is something you really, really want, like no illnesses, heaven on earth, like picture what is it that you really, really, really want? And then kind of look at what does it take for that to happen? If we were at war with somebody, does that mean you have to be friends with your enemies if you want to live in a world of peace? These elites right now look like they're our enemies. If you want to live on a planet, that's peaceful, don't you kind of have to love them too? Or do you want to be killers, just like they are? They want to kill us off, so we want to kill them, and that's the only way we're going to see peace. Is that the game that they are playing? Is they think as long as they can wipe all of us out, their life will be peaceful? Or do we think that if we wipe them out, we will get peace? And isn't that the battle that's going back and forth, is we turn into our enemies all the time. And that's the game that's being played, is you have a choice. Do you want to have an enemy, or do you want to live in peace? Your enemy is there for you to learn unconditional love. You came on this planet to learn unconditional love. And as long as you have an enemy, you have not learned that lesson. So it's going to be there. It's going to cause you more suffering because you want that suffering. Because the level of suffering that you have is the same level of potential unconditional love you're capable of. You can only be in pain. You can only get angry because you care. If you didn't care, you had no feelings. So the more pain you have, the more example of how much love you have inside you. And the more trapped that love will be inside you in your container of hate that you have for your enemy. So that's the goal. If you want to live in a world of peace, you cannot have an enemy. You have to find a way to unconditionally love your enemy. and there is a process. There is a way of tracking. Similar to the tapes that I'm reading on the videos on holodynamics, it explains the processes. I will commit to reading every one of these books if anybody cannot afford these books, because it's so relevant. If you want to learn unconditional love for yourself, you change the whole paradigm. The whole universe changes. Now, for me, this was a little bit of a problem because I cannot stand by and watch suffering go on. It's like I would love to save the planet if I could. If I could save every human on this planet, I would. But that's not my job. My job, I think, is just to discover myself, share the lessons I learn with myself, and hope others would want to save themselves as well. Combined, we allow a child to be involved in a sex trade or to be sexually abused in any way, shape, or form. Combined, us together, living in our hates, living in our history, not being able to understand unconditional love, keeps an enemy on this planet. So the more you are an example of unconditional love, then you show and teach other people what that looks like, that it's possible. And that's the best I can do, is just be the example that I want to see on the planet. And just hope that there's other people like me that would love to live in a world of peace. And if you want to live in a world of peace, then find your process, find your unconditional love, find how to make that happen, find the reasoning for the challenges you have today. That is the big wake up. That is what the big shift is about, is unconditional love. And how do we get there? Unconditional love has the potential to solve all problems. Just because you love something doesn't mean you're not going to fix or change the behaviors. It means you change the dynamics so that game, that war game, cannot be played anymore, because they can't touch you. They can't do anything to you because you're just not playing that game anymore. You're not participating in the negative energy. You are not at war with an enemy. You can be there and give your enemies some love. I had to do that with my ex-husband, who was friggin' totally abusive. I did that with my abusive father. I understand the purpose of why they're there. Now, it's not up to me to fix them. They are still living in their own hell, but I'm not. And I understand why they're doing the things they're doing. They're trapped in their own hell. And I don't enjoy watching them, because I'd like my life to be, a world of peace, but I will never experience a world of peace knowing that they are in their own individual wars. But again, all I can do is be the example and inspiration for somebody to want a world of peace. So if anybody's interested, if you've got any illnesses, if you want to know how to overcome this massive global challenge, the more people, the better it is, because we can transform an entire planet within a very, very short period of time if we know the steps to accomplish the job. And it is not a complicated thing at all. It's just some steps that you've been blinded to. Nobody wants to talk about this. It's not in your medical systems. It's not in Bibles. You will not find this information anywhere, although it is a combination of everything that's out there. There's nothing really new. It's just pieces of the puzzle that have been put together and shrunken down and made idiot proof. You don't need a big, huge education to get this. It is really, really simple and easy. It's so friggin' simple that you'll be looking for something really, really hard and won't get it because you're trying to find something really, really complicated. but it's not complicated. It is extremely easy. So I invite you again. Listen to the tapes. It will blow you away. And thanks to all who have the patience to listen to me read, because I suck at reading out loud. But I'm only doing it in case some of those that can't afford the books, and it's being requested, so I'm offering it with love, pleasure. I couldn't have done anything. To me, it's the biggest gift that I've received, is just the opportunity to be able to read that to somebody, even though I suck at reading. So I invite you all to take a peek at it. Peace out.